Hi everybody, this is like the fourth time I've done this because the first 3 times that I tried to record this, I had the microphone on mute. I'm here to hopefully help you with a mistake that I made years ago in my writing career and then made again in 2020 when I published my second book. And it's something that I'm paying for right now as I make this video. So it's one of those things that I really want to help you with so that you don't make the same painful mistakes that I've made. What I'm talking about is time-sensitive marketing opportunities that you have at the launch of your book and only the launch of your book. Now, in a lot of these type of videos of like, they do this to sell 500 copies of your book, whatever the hell the hook is, they're going to be talking from a place of success. I'm talking to you from a place of failure, but it's a place of failure where I have learned that from the mistake, and I want to share that. The failure here is that I didn't even know that most of these things existed. So part of the rectifying of that is just explaining what they are so that you're ready and you can make the decision whether you want to take advantage of these or not. What this is not going to cover is all the other types of marketing you will be doing throughout the process, both for you as an author and for your books. All the newsletters, the making your website, building a social media presence, all of that stuff is not what we're talking about because that's not, time sensitive. That doesn't expire. You work towards those things. You continue to work towards those things. This is different. These are 4 specific things that you need to do as soon as you launch or shortly after you launch or before you launch. So the easy thing to do is just hit publish, sit back, put your feet up, and just relax. Take a break. Let those royalties just roll in and take a nap. But by doing that, you're fucked. Those royalties will be a pittance and your sales ranking will plummet on Amazon or wherever else you are. By not taking advantage of the marketing opportunities you have at that time, you're putting yourself in a hole early when you could be giving yourself a head start. I know this because I am currently digging my ass out of a giant hole I made for myself over the last couple years. So what are these 4 opportunities that last about as long as the McRib? Well, the first is going to be ARCs, or Advanced Reader Copies. This is a very important acronym to know, and it's one I didn't know until about 6 months ago. What they are copies of your book that you give out for free in hopes of getting a review. You give them to publications, to bloggers, to services like Reedsy or Book Siren. Essentially what they are is a head start on the review process, which can often take days or weeks or months. Keep in mind that when you are searching out book bloggers as a prime example, they often are getting 20, 30 books a day as a request. So that to be read list for a lot of the book bloggers is going to be insanely long. If you're giving them an ARC, you're giving them time, and you're giving yourself time to get that read and reviewed. And apart from anything else, they're probably going to be more interested in an ARC. They may even have in their submission guidelines that they will put preference on ARCs over other books that have been released because they know that it's a time-sensitive requirement. Even more important, if you're going to go with a service like Book Siren, which is just a giant list of reviewers that may or may not review your book, and Reedsy Discovery, which is the same thing, they are very strict on what they will allow on their platform to be potentially reviewed. With Reedsy Discovery, they only accept books that are within 6 months of their launch. For Book Siren, it's even stricter. They will only accept ARCs. So both of those opportunities, which may be good opportunities to get your book reviewed, they're gone. They're gone as soon as you hit past that, once you hit the publication, and they're gone as soon as you hit past that 6-month mark. So you want to be able to at least have the option to take advantage of these. Research them, see if there's something you're interested in, and look to see if you see good results from them. Number 2 is going to be book awards. Book awards in a lot of cases will have a time limit from publication. Now, this isn't going to be as strict as the ARCs, which are, you know, a very, very tight time frame. These are going to be more like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. There will be times, like for example, I squeaked in on a couple of the last couple years by a couple months, and recently by a couple weeks. And this is where if I was narcissistic, I would be flexing that the book behind me has an award sticker from the Royal Dragonfly for new fiction author that I was awarded this past year. But I'm not, like, you know, a narcissist like that. That's, you know, besides the point. The point is, if you want to be considered for these awards, and keep in mind that you can apply to most awards more than once. So you can submit multiple years as long as you are eligible. So for a book award that only gives you 2 years from the publication date, you have a maximum of 2 attempts. If you don't have a plan in that first year to apply to it, you've already missed one of those attempts. So it's one of those things to keep in mind. Most of these book awards are going to be between 2 years and 6 years. Some will not have a publication date requirement, but you're still going to run into plenty that do. So if that's something that's important to you, to increase legitimacy, to perhaps win a prize, to get your book, to get an editorial review, to get your book in front of industry professionals, then keep that in mind that there is a ticking clock on a lot of them. So number 3 is going to be pretty self-explanatory. New book release lists. Like, do I need to go further in on this? Like, it's lists of your new release books, and your book's 4 years old, it's not a new release. These are part of one of your biggest marketing tools that you're going to be using, and that's newsletters. A lot of them will have a new release option, a new release list that's going to be at a reduced price. So keep that in mind, that this is not like, oh, it's just a list that I put my book on at full price. No, this is a list that you're going to be discounting your new release. I mean, the largest of these, BookBub, it's literally called New Releases for Less. But it's still something to keep in mind, that that's a potential marketing avenue to get your book in front of new eyes, but it's only going to be there for a limited time. It's only there while your book is considered a new release. And then this 4th one I left for last because it's the one that's probably the most debatable if it helps or if it doesn't help, and that's pre-orders. So pre-orders are going to be a thing where I'm going to suggest that you do your own research on whether you personally, for your situation, for your readership, if you should do a pre-order or not. As a first-time author, I think I was right not to do a pre-order, but for my second book, I wish I had, because I already had a readership from the first book, and I could have built some excitement for that second book because it's a direct sequel. And in not doing so, I may have lost out on an opportunity to increase the overall sales in that first week or 2 weeks or so. Pre-orders, I would suggest, I put in the description below the Jane Friedman blog. It's a great blog. It kind of really goes into the Amazon algorithm and how pre-orders can either help or hurt you, and when and where you should potentially consider using them or not using them. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mark Moore. I hope this video helped, and I hope you are a little bit more educated on some of the things that are available to you than I was. Because this is one of those things where I would have at least been able to make the decision if I'd known, but I didn't know. And so now all I have is regret. If you've gotten to this part of the video, you can't have the regret of not knowing. So let us know in the comments, have you used any of these tactics? Have you used any of these marketing tactics? And if so, were they successful? Did they help you? Do you have any others that you would like to suggest? But thank you so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.